Hi friends, hello, welcome back to my channel. This is Martina and welcome to the last but one episode of our little challenge in which we are using a 6x6 paper pad, the whole paper pad in just 5 days. So this is the project for day 4 that I would like to share with you, and I think it would be okay to call it a one-sheet wonder. You guys have to tell me, but this is definitely made from just one sheet of 6x6 paper. And maybe let me show you on this example. It has 3 pockets, so it has a pocket here in the front, this like pockety tuck spot thing, then it has a pocket here and also in the back. And of course, depending on how you attach it to your journal page, it could have a large pocket on the side, maybe on the top, or you could actually attach it so it hinges and do something with the back. So this was my prototype that I made with some leftover Tim Holtz cardstock, but these are actually made with our paper. So the paper pad plus the back sides of the paper pad that we did in episode 0, sort of, in our prep. So again, we have a pocket here, and pocket here, and the same with this one. And then this is the back of those two. So this is so simple and so quick, and I already chose a few papers that I would like to. I also have a scoreboard and a few papers that I think I would like to make these out of. And here are the sheets that I've chosen. This one with the flowers and stamping on the back. This one with decoupage on the back. This one which I covered with this beautiful book page, and just a patterned paper on the other side, and then this super pretty one, which when we fold it, this is actually going to be the back side. Although, as you will see, when we start folding them and cutting our pockets and doing all of that, you can then decide which side you want your pockets to be on, sort of. So if I wanted them to go this way diagonally, that would be equally easy. So yeah, so let me show you guys the steps, and like I said, these aren't, you know, anything complicated. So first, what I'm going to do, and with this one, I think I want to fold it like that. So I'm going to first make a score line at 3 inches because this is 6 inches wide, so I want to just fold it in half like that. Fold it in half first, go around it with the bone folder a little bit so it stays nice and closed. Then I'm going to open it up, and for the bottom part I am going to score at 3/4, yes, 1/4 of an inch. Sorry, I'm not very familiar with inches, but because my scoreboard has inches here, it's definitely a bit easier to work with them than with centimeters. So a quarter, not a quarter, 3/4, excuse me, 3/4 of an inch, yes, 3/4 of an inch, yeah. That's 3/4. And I am just scoring it again so that I see it more visibly. And then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to, from the front side of my pocket, cut off this little bit that we have here. And I'm going to leave it on the back. So let's do just that. And as you can see, I didn't glue my papers perfectly here, so I'm going to fix it before I call this project completed. So I think I can already start with maybe just fixing this tiny little sliver of white. I think ink would work well too. Alrighty, so this is going to be our little flap and our first pocket. And if you fold it up and you see that your paper doesn't stay completely closed like it does when it's not up, then I would suggest cutting off a little bit more here so that it is not in the way, like that. And now it lays nice and flat. And so that's our first pocket. Now let's open this up. So this is what we have so far. I'm going to fold this corner up to this line, up to the middle line of my pocket. And yeah, I have very thick paper because this was like a very lightweight cardstock, but I backed it with a thick book page. So now it's quite thick. And then we are going to cut off this triangle. So I'm just going to, so if you don't want to fold it, if you are sort of sure where you want to cut, then you can just go ahead and cut it. But I definitely feel more comfortable with just folding it first. And I am going to clean this edge of my triangle a little bit more. So as you can see, we now have 1 and 2 pockets, and I am going to use this triangle to create my third pocket. And I love this color scheme, to be honest. And then this would be on the back, which is so fun because this would be like nice journaling space. But like I said, this is the moment when you can actually decide if maybe with your papers, folding them this way and using this would work better. Now, in my case, obviously not. These aren't that pretty. But you can do that. So we have 1, 2, 3 pockets. What next? So I think I'm going to first round my corners. This one I will just round this tiny bit here. Oh, it's not the right bit, I think, that I did, because it's not going to be visible like that. I just don't want it to be in my way. And so I'm going to round these 2 corners up top and then fold it. And it's a bit tough to get inside because it's quite thick. So if your punch is having problems, maybe consider doing it with your scissors. So that's it. And I am also going to round this corner, which is going to go here. Awesome. So this is what I would have. Then I really like the fact that this little flap, because for the most part, let me see, it's not very interesting. Like I had the same sort of book page here, or a very similar, and like here it just wasn't very interesting. So I am going to attach something here, like a ruffle. I have some, I believe this is seam binding and some ribbon. So let me just check what I have that I could add here. So I found this piece of sari silk, and I think that as a ruffle it would look really nice. This is actually very similar green to what I have here on this image, so that would go there. And I'm thinking of using this tiny thin lace to decorate my pockets like I have done here and here. I think I have just enough for both, and I'm using this thin one because I don't want to cover too much of this image, and I think it will look nice. So before I do that, I'm going to ink the edges, especially the white edges of my project here. Okay, let's not forget about this line here. Okay, and then I am going to ink around the back as well. And so for this thin lace, I'm just going to use my wet glue. So let me cut my pieces. Kind of the size, kind of slightly bigger. And then this one. And as you can see, you don't even have to cover this whole edge with lace, because a lot of this, or like, you know, this part is going to be covered up. So let me just cut the tiny sliver off, and I'm going to use my wet glue, add a thin line of glue here along the edge. You could of course use your sewing machine at this point, just open this up and stitch around the edge. But I like doing it this way. It is quick, and especially with such a small lace, thin lace, I don't want to kind of detract from it with machine stitching. So this is drying, and let's do the same. Or maybe let me just very quickly, not sure if this is going to do anything on this dark paper, but just in case. So adding my glue. I'm not sure how long my piece is. Slightly longer. Okay. Like that, and I like to turn it over, see how much is peeking out, see if it's kind of even and where I want it to be, and then I can clean off those edges with my scissors. So just cut this little sliver off, and here, well, it's actually fine, just the tiniest bit here, and the same with this one. Yeah, and so again, this is going to go here and up here. So what I'm going to do now is I am in fact going to take this to my sewing machine just to add this ruffle with some zigzag stitch, because I do like the look of it, and for me this is the easiest way to add a ruffle. However, if you don't want to use your sewing machine but you want to have a ruffle, what you could do is use wet glue or hot glue, add a strip of it here and just go like this, scrunch it up, make a little ruffle, and it should hold just fine. Maybe let me add a little bit more inking here, and let me take this to my sewing machine. Isn't this just so cute? I love it. Let me just snip off those long edges here, or threads. Okay, and the last thing that I want to do before I glue this closed, and before we actually have all of our pockets functional, I want to grab my fussy cut ephemera holder and look for some image that would look nicely here, just decorating the back of this pocket, so it can't be too big. So what colors do I have? I have purple and pink. Now of course I can trim it slightly. Let me see if I have anything purple that would match. This is more blue. This one is perhaps more purple. Maybe not. Wait, let me go back to this one. I would have to shorten this, but maybe just on the edge so it doesn't look like I'm trying to make a sort of continuation of this flower, but I actually think it looks very cute. What do you guys think? I think I'm going to go with that. So let's see, do I have to shorten it maybe slightly here? And then just with my wet glue again. And again, I just want it very sort of close to the edge, both the top edge and this right edge. Love it. I think it's very pretty. Okay, so now we can glue our pocket shut. So first I'm going to just go and glue along this short edge here, and this will close my my largest pocket in the back of this ephemera piece. And then while this is drying, I'm going to attach my triangle. So just going with my glue over those two edges. And aligning it to the edge here, and again I can just turn this around, make sure it's not peeking through here. Yeah, and just giving this glue just a little bit of time to dry. And then I am going to put glue on those two short edges of the stack spot pocket thingy with the ruffle. Move it. Oops, my threads are tangled here. Yeah, move it up and just again hold it maybe like that for just a few seconds so the glue has time to do its thing. But yeah, basically it is as simple as that. So I hope you guys like this project. We are definitely going to be making at least one more together, but I think it's very cute. And of course there is so much that you can do. You can decorate this pocket as well. You can decorate it on the back if you know that you are not going to be gluing it onto the page like that. Really, you know, this is just the basis, and I think when I decide to put this one in a journal, I will decide whether I want more decoration, whether I want something on the back, and yeah, but this is just such a nice base. And let me just see how this will look with our ephemera tucked in those pockets. And I think it's just so cute, just so cute. and fast and easy, I think. Alrighty, so let's make one more together. Which one? Maybe this one with the decoupage napkin. I'm just trying to think which way I would like it to go. This is text, so I would probably go the way the text is written. Okay, yeah, so let me first fold it in half. I don't have to score this one because this is much thinner paper. I will score along the 3/4 mark, 3/4 of an inch on the bottom of our thing. Fold it like that, make sure it's kind of even, and then we are going to be cutting this rectangle on from the front side. So snip, and if you maybe have trouble seeing those lines because you have some busy background pages, then you can just, and I think I'm going to do that, add a little bit of ink alongside this edge, and now it becomes much easier to see. And I'm going a little bit over the line again, so that when I fold this, this one can fold up comfortably. Let me just clean this edge a little bit. Okay, so the next step is to fold our triangle. Maybe it's going to be easier with this opened up, and I'm going straight to the line in the middle and just cutting it off. Now I can barely see this line, so I hope I'm not being terribly crooked here. Just cleaning off this edge a little bit. And so far, here is what we would have. So we could have it like this. I was hoping to get some napkin on this part as well, or if we fold it the other way, then it would look like this, which honestly is quite cute. But then my text goes sideways, and I don't think I like it that much. So let me get back to this. And so I'm thinking that because this piece inside is so nicely decorated, there would be perhaps no reason for us to put a flower here. It would just get lost. But maybe we could decorate this one a little bit. Yeah, so let's first round our edges, or if you prefer them square, then that's absolutely fine as well. And now on my triangle, which is going to go like that, and I will round this edge as well, just to shorten it so it doesn't peek through here. Okay, the next step would be to ink the edges of this. So how are you guys? How are you doing today? I hope everyone is all right. Thank you all so much for your comments on the series, for watching. I know it's a lot of videos and a lot of projects, but we are almost at the finishing line. I think tomorrow's video is going to be a bit more sort of less tutorial style and more like craft therapy relaxed one, because we are going to go through, well, we will go through all of the projects that we made for this series, and also use the remaining papers to perhaps make some ephemera to put in all of those pockety things that we've created, which I think will be really nice. And let me ink this edge and this edge as well. Okay, so now what would I like to do for here? I actually have some sari silk ribbon. Let me just grab, oh no, it's seam binding. Well, I have seam binding and it's joined with sari silk, so let me just cut those, because I think sari silk will look a bit nicer here, because it just goes really well with the color of the background, the tea stained, coffee stained, I believe it was, background. Now for our lace on the edge, maybe we could actually use a bit of a bigger lace this time, because again we have this more blank piece, so I think I'm going to go for that. Let me cut off this little bit that's all crooked, and I can do something else with that. And then I'm going to cut off a piece for this pocket, and then a piece for this one. And I think I can just go ahead and glue those right now. We actually have a beautiful weather today, and 15 degrees Celsius, which is quite warm, especially in comparison to how it was for the past couple of weeks. So I think after I'm done with this video, we're going to take Zuzia for a nice longer walk. No, I can't really take super long walks these days. I am almost in my 3rd trimester, which is unbelievable to me, just how fast the time goes and how fast the weeks pass. But yeah, I do tend to get quite tired even without that much of physical strain. So even a longer walk can get me quite tired these days. Okay, let me cut this off, and maybe just a tiny bit of this because it's very spiky. And then perhaps I will just cut here. And as for this, maybe it will be easier from this side. And the top, let's turn it this way. My scissors are quite... Oh, what's the opposite of sharp? Oh, it's totally escaping me. But they are opposite of sharp. Is what they are. Okay, I really like it. Let me take it to my sewing machine and add this ruffle here. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like when it's all glued down. And I actually don't think it needs much decoration here, to be honest. Also because, of course, this is going to be like a spot for an ephemera piece. So maybe let me first glue my pocket, and then we will see if we want to add anything else. This way. Again, going close to these edges and just turning it around to see if it's not peeking through here, because I don't want that. Right, so those are my 2 pockets, and the third one, just a bit of glue on those shorter edges this way. I love the color of this one. It's very like sunny and summery and happy. I do like it. I think I actually have a tiny flower, now that I'm thinking about it, in my ephemera folder here on the first page. Not sure if this would look right here. Maybe it's a bit weird, actually. Do I have anything just tiny? Probably not, because I've noticed that I use a lot of those tiny ones. I have them usually on top here, in the top pockets. No, I don't think it needs anything, honestly, especially that we are going to be putting items into it. Okay, so these are, this is what it looks on the back. So these are our 2 completed One Sheet Wonder pocket ephemera pieces. And yeah, thank you so much for crafting with me today, you guys. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this project. It was again quite simple, but this is sort of my goal for this series, to make those little easy ephemera pieces that anyone can replicate, despite or rather regardless of what sort of papers and materials they have. So yeah, and then here are the 2 pink ones I made off camera. And yeah, so tomorrow we are going to be meeting for the last time in this video series, in this video challenge. I am very excited to go through everything that we made, and I am also making some of the same projects off camera, so just making more of those. So I will show you guys all of those, and we will use the remaining papers. And the challenge is for me that the remaining papers are not my favorite. So I am definitely guilty of using the papers that I actually really like first, and then what I'm left with is a bunch of those papers that, well, I'm not a fan of, perhaps. So we will see. That's going to be a challenge in and of itself. We will see what we can do about that. But for now, thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your day. What day is it today? Is it Wednesday? Is it, no, Thursday? Thursday. Okay. Now that I don't go to work, I can barely remember what day of the week it is. So have a wonderful rest of your Thursday, or any day you're watching this. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.